Hey everybody, this is Glennis from Crochet by Glennis. If you have liked and subscribed this channel already, thank you. If you have not, please like and subscribe this channel so I can be able to provide more content that is in depth and more content that is better produced than what I can at the moment. If you have not been by my website, Crochet by Glennis, on Shopfy, please look at it. The whole purpose of that website is to produce yarns that are easily accessible and have been picked out by myself and actually showcasing the yarns that I have on there so people can see how special they are, and they will want them for themselves. Last week we went over some basics, and we've learned how to do how to start nearly almost any crochet project, almost any crochet project, I would say, because there are other, if depending on what you are doing, there are other ways to start, but we'll get into that later. If I can reach and grab our swatch that we worked on together. Here, this is our swatch that we worked on together last week. Here, let me try this. Here we go. This is our swatch that we worked on last week. All right. This is single crochet, but we also worked on another swatch last week, and this is double crochet. So let's leave that the way it is for the moment, because now that we have a decent foundation, and what I mean by a decent foundation, I mean that we have a number of things that we have learned. And one of the things that I have promised was we were going to take what we already know and make a small project, or assign ourselves a small project. Now, the way this channel is set up is every week we come on, we talk about what we have done previously, or for right now we are learning new things. So how will we use what we have learned previously? And that is, we will make I will show you how to make granny squares. All right, so first let's grab our material. I will be using a padded hook to do this. This is a size H, and you know what our practice yarn is. Our practice yarn is Red Heart. So if you see my setup here, you can see how it's how it is. It's necessarily a I'm gonna finish this real quick, but it's necessarily a something where I keep all my practice stuff in. So let's toss that to the side there. That is not in there. Gotta find another cord to pull. I'm working on something else, but here. Now, I'll have a lesson. Now you see how I just broke that right there. And this is because this is our practice yarn. This isn't anything we spent like $5 on. This is something we spent like $2 on. If we did spend $5 on, it's one of those big bundles and stuff, and it really doesn't matter to us. Okay, so here we go. All right. Basics. I'm going to teach a new technique. I'm going to teach a new technique. And one is how to do in the round. How to do this in the round. And because that well, no. Yeah, well, this is a technical how to move it around because there may be projects that you would start from what I'm about to start, what I'm about to show you. So here we go. Now we're gonna go over lesson. We're gonna go over lesson one, and that is how to create a slip knot. So what I like to do is I take the yarn and I wrap it around my thumb, like so, and then I take one, pull it over the other, and once it's like that again, take the previous one and just pull it again until, as you see, this knot forms, right? And it's on the right direction because the knot is slipping. This is why it's called a slip knot, right? Slip knot, like my favorite band, one of my favorite bands. So we're gonna pull it. I think I'm on the wrong side this time, but it's okay. We're not gonna master it. We're not gonna master it. What I mean, we're not gonna master it. So we're not gonna eat this particular string here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna create a chain, 6 chains, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what we're going to do from here is that we're going to find our beginning chain and we're going to put a crochet, a single crochet in it, closing the end, creating a circle, right? So how do we start granny squares? Granny squares are done in series of 3s. Series? I guess that's fine. That's fine for now. Granny squares are done in series of 3s. And what do I mean by series of 3s? What I'm going to be doing here is when I start, I'm going to put 3 double crochets in the center, right? 1, 2, 3, right? Give me a second. Give me 1 second to do something. Not sure why that does that, but all right, where do we leave off at? Okay, we made our 3 double. We put our 3 double crochets in the center of our what we will call a magic loop. But I'll show you a different way of doing the magic loop a little bit later. But if this is a flat work, it's not going in round. We're not making a 3D shape, so it doesn't matter. So that's 3, right? Dang it. I'm gonna make this where it's not so cumbersome. Okay, here we go. Chain 3, right? 1, 2, 3, and that's the first one. And we're gonna do this until we get a combination of 4, right? So you have east, west, north, and south. Think of it like that. So I have a direction right now. Now let's put the other set in. here we go. I have 3, and I need to make these chains, and then add another set in, right? Now, when we make this last chains, what we're going to do, so we have 4, right? We have 1 here, 1 there, 2, 3, 4, right? So here you go. The way this pattern works, now that you got this far, I'm going to chain 3. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 sets in a single in each single space, right? So what this will do is it'll cause the pattern to grow, right? So here we go. Wait, I got a chain. Haha, don't forget to chain 3 times. 1, 2, 3, because you have to create that next space. So, and in the next space, in the previous space, put your 3 in. 2, 3, chain 3, and in the same, what you're going to do, you're going to put another. Alright, I'm going to chain again. So here you go. Your first set is going to look something like that. So that's your corner. So I'm going to chain 3, and then I'm going to go into the next space, and I'm going to put another 2 sets in. Alright, creating our next chain, we're going to go to the next space, and we're going to do the same thing. Make sure you guys can see this. Now this is like the second row. We're not making any extra chains other than our spaces at the moment. And we should have one more to do. 1, 2, 3. Find the space. Now I'm going like at breakneck speed right now because this was our homework. Our homework was to learn how to do chains. Our homework was how to know how to do double crochets and things like that. But now we're working on pattern work because we are past knowing how to do that. So now we're working on pattern work. So here we go, right? This is the last for this row, and you'll start the next row in which I'll show you what to do. Now, granny squares, people love granny squares. I mean, granny squares are about as old as time because, well, old as crochet. If I don't want to say old as time, but I would definitely say old as crochet because people don't want to take a lot of time to do something. I don't want to take a lot of time to make something. Like, okay, one of the things you'll learn is when you single crochet something, even when you simple stitch something, which I will explain that in a later video. It takes so long to do something, right? You're just there, you're just aging as you're sitting, you're just aging and stuff. But then it comes along this pattern that is so quick. It's so quick. My kids won't grow up before I'm done with something, or I could probably sit down and feed my kid while I'm making a little granny square thing, and it's like it explodes and everything is made out of granny squares or some variant of it and stuff. But okay, here we go. That's enough of that rant. All right, so here we go. Right, we're in a general square. So I want you to look at something. There is at this point, what you'll come across continuously is sections of granny squares. And if you're not reading a pattern, if you don't want to read a pattern, let me show you how to cheat. Okay, so now this space here, that's that space there. Whenever you come across a space like that, no matter how many you come across, you only make your chains, right? Chain 3, 2, and then I'm going to put my 3 double crochets inside of the space. All right, and then I'm going to chain to make my way to the corner. Now, the corners is where the pattern exists, and what I mean is when I get to a corner like that, right there where that space is, I'm always going to put 3 in, chain 3, put another 3 in. Okay, I'll probably make a blanket doing that before the end of the day if I was to sit here doing that. Trust me, you'll love it. Believe me. Believe some black guy on the internet you've never heard of. Believe it. Okay, so here we go. So here we go. Let's do this. Let's show you how simple this is. I'm sorry. I'm like everybody else at breaking. So here we go. I'm just going to go on to the next one. Can't stop the fire, keep it burning, burn, burn. Every king we have a queen. Oops. Remember what I said about making mistakes. Before you make a mistake, you notice it. Don't go on, just stop. Pull it out because it matters as your presentation goes and stuff. Especially if you're a seller like me. It matters. Well, the weather today is very rainy. It's been rainy for like the past few days, and every climate needs rain. I'm in forest covered, well, rainforest covered Knoxville, Tennessee, and if it wasn't raining here, we'd be on fire like California. All right, okay, so obviously I know I've come to the end of the row. How do I know I've come to the end of the row? Because when I finished, here, let me set for my next action. When I finished, instead of the one, I now have two, right? So how do I know what row that I'm on? What row I'm on? Okay, now let's go back to what we did. We made a magic loop, right? So we can call that row 0. And in that magic loop, we put 4 squares. And we made those 4 squares by making a series of 3 double crochets and 3 chains. And we placed those crochets on our corners. And we made our corners expand by putting 2 sets on each side, creating a unilateral piece of work that is geometrically the same distance and, well, the same height and whatever you want to call it. I don't want to get too into it, but here we go. Now, so this is row 0 where my finger is. That's row 0. Where that space is, that is row number 1. That's 1 space. And then row number 2, that's 2 spaces. Right? Okay, so our project is to make 10 rows. Okay? When I see you next week, I will show you what this looks like at 10 rows, and we will take it and we'll put it to one side, and then the next week I will show you a different stitch, and then with that different stitch we will create another swatch like so. I will do my best to make it simple and easy for anybody can do it, but as for now, I would like to say my name is Glennis. I am Crochet by Glennis. Check me out on Facebook and this channel. If you haven't liked and subscribed this channel, please like and subscribe to this channel. If you have not liked my store, Crochet by Glennis, on Facebook, please do so. If you have not visited my store, Crochet by Glennis, on Shopify, please do. Till next time, peace out.